from the International Space Station Flight Control Room at the Johnson Space Center in Houston, Texas. I'm NASA's Sandra Jones. This evening, the Orbit 3 team of flight controllers are on duty and being led by Flight Director Anthony Vareja. The team is working in tandem with their Russian counterparts halfway across the world at the Russian Mission Control Center in the town of Koryov outside Moscow. Today's operation is to guide in the unpiloted Progress 78 cargo ship that launched from the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan on Tuesday. That launch took place at 6:27 p.m. Central Time with over 1.8 tons of food, fuel, and supplies on board. Progress has been making its journey to the 7 residents of the orbiting laboratory ever since. This afternoon, Mission Control encountered a problem with ground commanding capability to the International Space Station. The teams are still receiving telemetry from the station, have two-way voice communication with the crew, and the capability to transfer and receive files. The crew is in no danger. The automated docking operations for the unpiloted Russian Progress 78 cargo craft are proceeding as planned. The crew did delay the start of its sleep period to assist in performing the steps necessary to keep Rendezvous on schedule. Mission Control engineers are investigating the situation in an effort to restore full command capability.
45-minute break, and just to let you know that we're going to have the USOS crew off until 1100.
On Tuesday, Progress blasted off from Site 31 at the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan, powered by the Soyuz 2.1A boosters. Progress lifted off at 4:27 a.m. local Baikonur time, 6:27 p.m. Central Time. Following liftoff, all engines fired normally during first stage, and Progress's strap-on solid rocket boosters performed as expected. The vehicle was reported to be in great shape from the launch controllers at the blockhouse in Baikonur. This view from a rocket camera on the upper stage showing the strap-on boosters separating. That was first stage separation just 2 minutes after launch. And about 8 minutes after launch, the third stage shut down, placing Progress into its preliminary orbit. It was a perfect insertion by all accounts following Progress's liftoff from the launch pad in Baikonur. The unpiloted Progress is now less than 10 kilometers from the space station. Docking is planned for 8:03 p.m. Central Time this evening. Progress will be docking to the Poisk module on the space-facing side of the International Space Station. All of the engine firings to raise the Progress's orbit to that of the International Space Station, as well as the burns to ensure the 33 orbit rendezvous aligns the vehicles into position for docking, have been executed flawlessly so far with no issues reported. Looking ahead at some of the milestones we'll be anticipating this evening, Progress will conduct a fly-around at a range of about 400 meters away from the space station. The fly-around angle will precisely align the forward docking probe on the Progress with the Poisk module's docking port. Following this, there will be a brief period of station keeping at a range of 215 meters to allow flight controllers to access the precise alignment of the Progress with Poisk. At that point, the initiation for final approach for docking will be conducted. The link-up of Progress to Poisk is scheduled for 8:03 p.m. Central Time after a 33-orbit rendezvous from Earth to the space station. 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 On board the unpiloted Progress is 1.8 tons of food, fuel, and supplies for the crew on the International Space Station. The crew on board as part of Expedition 65 includes NASA astronauts Shane Kimbrough, Megan MacArthur, and Mark Vande Hei, as well as Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency astronaut Aki Hoshide, European Space Agency astronaut Thomas Pesquet, and Roskosmos cosmonauts Oleg Novitsky and Pyotr Dubrov, who will be monitoring Progress docking this evening. Progress now less than 5 kilometers from the International Space Station. Aboard the space station, Russian cosmonauts Pyotr Dubrov and Oleg Novitsky are inside the CEST service module at a workstation equipped with a joystick called the Taru system. This is the telerobotic operated system which would be used in the highly unlikely event that a failure would occur to the core's automated rendezvous system. The core's automated rendezvous system has been checked out and is in good shape. Once Progress links up to the Poisk module of the International Space Station, there will be a period where the relative motion between the two vehicles will dampen out. At this point, the forward probe will begin to retract and basically pull Progress in tight with the docking port interface to allow hooks to close to form a hard mate between the two vehicles. There will be a period of leak checks by Dubrov and Novitsky on the Russian side of the space station to ensure there is an airtight seal between the docking interface and the Poisk module before the hatch on Progress will be opened, allowing the cosmonauts to begin to unload time-sensitive cargo on board. This view from the external engineer overlay camera on the outside of the Progress showing the data being evaluated by the Russian flight controllers at the Russian Mission Control Center outside of Moscow. In the lower left quadrant of this view, you can see the descending numbers, which is the distance between the Progress and the International Space Station. Under 4 kilometers currently separating Progress from the space station. The number just below that, currently negative 8.02, is meters per second, is how quickly Progress is approaching the space station. Today's operation following a busy few weeks for the crew aboard the International Space Station after a trio of spacewalks by NASA astronaut Shane Kimbrough and European Space Agency astronaut Thomas Pesquet to install new IROSA or ISS rollout solar arrays on the space station. Also, on Tuesday, the same day as Progress's launch, the Northrop Grumman NG-15 Cygnus cargo craft was released from the Unity module of the space station. During our coverage this evening, the final deorbit burn will take place to put Cygnus in a trajectory to harmlessly burn up in the Earth's atmosphere. Progress closing in on the International Space Station, now less than 3 kilometers separating the two vehicles. Progress will remain at the space station for a 5-month mission, though it will be involved in an automated relocation to the Russian multi-purpose laboratory module named Noku, the Russian word for science. The Progress is pre-programmed for a series of impulse burns, which are very small firings of its engine to essentially put on the brakes as it approaches the vicinity of the space station. You can see the number in the lower left-hand quadrant. The bottom number is continuing to decrease. The unpiloted Progress vehicle is conducting impulse burns to slow down its engine as it nears the vicinity of the space station. You can see it approaching the space station in this view. And we just heard confirmation that the crew on board station has began the test of the TARU, the backup control system, the telerobotic Rendezvous operated system. This is a routine test of TARU. The core system, which is the primary guidance system for Progress, will be used. However, the TARU is available in the unlikely event that it is needed. Now less than 2 kilometers separating the Progress vehicle from the International Space Station. Docking planned for 8:03 p.m. Central Time, 9:03 p.m. Eastern Time this evening. This view from the Progress as it approaches the space station and closes in on the orbiting outpost at a rate of less than 4 meters per second. At the time of docking and capture, the Progress will be moving at a much slower rate at about 1/10 a meter per second. And we just heard confirmation that the testing of the backup docking system is complete. Toru is available if required. However, everything working perfectly with CORS as it guides Progress in for its automated docking, scheduled for 8:03 p.m. Central Time this evening.
And to the right. And all of the LEDs.
Рут на себя. Есть загорание крайних, затем средних светодиодов. Нейтраль. От себя. Есть загорание крайних.
And moving it away from me, all of the LEDs are illuminated now, and our THC back to neutral. And I am going to...
The next milestone that we'll be looking for is when fly-around begins. This will be conducted at a range of about 400 meters between Progress and the station. Progress will complete the fly-around at a precise angle to align the forward end of the Progress and its docking probe with the Poisk docking compartment on the Russian segment's space-facing side.
Copy. Step 4.3 is in work now. BPS signal conversion unit is in the initial configuration. It is operating. All of the LEDs are on. Auto gain mode is activated. HGC.
We're just about 5 minutes away from the beginning of the fly-around.
And I am turning off.
Fly-around will again be conducted at a range of about 400 meters between Progress and the station.
Step 4.3 is complete, and LED operation is not illuminated. Okay, copy all, and please switch to page 22, step 4.4. Copy, page 22, step 4.4.
And we just heard confirmation that we have a go for Progress docking, scheduled for 8:03 p.m. Central Time, 9:03 p.m. Eastern Time this evening. Progress began its journey on Tuesday, June 29th from Site 31 at the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan, now just a few hundred meters away from its destination, the International Space Station.
Range 530, range rate negative 1.3, copy.
Once again, this view of the International Space Station from the unpiloted Progress vehicle at a distance of less than 500 kilometers, closing in at a rate of 1.3 meters per second. We're in a brief expected handover between satellites and will regain imagery shortly. We're standing by now for the fly around. This view of the Russian Mission Control Center in Koryov, outside of Moscow.
Range 400, range rate minus 1.1, and the size of the image matches the range. Copy.
And the fly around has commenced, less than 400 meters now separating the two vehicles. This fly around will take about 10 minutes to complete.
Range rate negative 1.03, copy.
Guided by the core system, the Progress continues its automated fly around of the International Space Station to align itself with the Poisk module of the space station.
Range 310, range rate negative 0.8. The station is in the center of the screen. Copy.
The International Space Station currently flying 264 statute miles over the southern coast of Fiji.
Range 280, range rate negative 0.62, copy.
Everything proceeding as expected during the fly around. Still on track for an on-time docking at 8:03 p.m. Central Time, 9:03 p.m. Eastern Time this evening.
Range rate negative 0.4. Copy. And the size matches the range. Copy all.
Дальность 230, скорость минус 0,20.
Range 230, range rate negative 0.26. Copy.
Выполняется облет новостыковочного узла МИН-2.
Fly around towards MRAM-2. Docking port is in progress. Copy.
As mentioned earlier, on Tuesday, the same day as the unpiloted Progress's launch, the Northrop Grumman NG-15 Cygnus cargo craft was released from the Unity module of the space station. The SS Katherine Johnson has now completed its deorbit burn and is in a trajectory to harmlessly burn up in the Earth's atmosphere.
Дальность 210.
Range 210, range rate negative 0.15. Copy.
Now 215 kilometers separating Progress from the International Space Station following a 33-orbit rendezvous. The next milestone we'll be looking ahead towards will be a brief period of station keeping, where the unpiloted Progress will cease its forward motion and await final approval from the Russian flight controllers in Koryov before the command is sent for final approach and docking.
Дальность 200, скорость.
Range 200, range rate negative 0.08. Copy.
Дальность 190.
Range 197, range rate negative 0. 0.06. Please pull up radiogram number 9418, page 3. This radiogram is up.
Progress now less than 200 kilometers from the International Space Station.
Дальность 194.
Range 194, range rate negative 0.07. Copy.
Стыковочный узел в центре.
Docking port is in the center of the screen. Copy.
We're coming up on a very brief period of station keeping where the Progress will cease its forward motion and await final approval from the Russian flight controllers in Koryov. Once that green light is received, the command will be sent for final approach and docking.
Дальность 180.
Range 182, range rate negative 0.03. Copy.
Стыковочный узел практически.
Docking port is virtually in the middle of the crosshairs on the screen. Copy.
Олег, можно выдавать...
Oleg, you're go to proceed with early approach enabled command from BPS signal.
And we just heard confirmation that station keeping has begun and they have the go for final approach.
Выдал команду на причальник.
Command sent and I can see the early approach flag. The flag is set.
Работу отключить.
Copy and you
Работа.
can deactivate the operation signal. Copy. It is off.
Дальность 170.
Range 170. Range rate negative 0.8. Copy.
And with everyone very pleased with what they are seeing in Koryov, that final approach has begun. We're just about 10 minutes away from contact and capture. Just under 1.47 meters separating the two vehicles, closing in at a rate of 8.3 meters a second.
Дальность 130.
Range 130. Range rate negative 0.7. And the target is in the center of the screen. Copy.
Дальность 100.
Range 100. Range rate.
And that circular port in the center of your screen will come more in view on those crosshairs.
Copy.
Again, once we have contact and capture, there will be a couple of minutes of dampening out of forward motion between the two vehicles. Following that, the forward docking probe will be retracted to basically pull the two docking interfaces flush against one another and allow the hooks to be closed.
80.
Range 80, range rate negative 0.4. Copy.
Мишень выше перекрестия.
The target is above the crosshairs by approximately 0.5 degrees. Copy all.
Дальность 65.
Range 65,
24. Мишень.
range rate negative 0.25, and the docking target is in the center of the crosshairs. Copy.
This view from the International Space Station as Progress closes in at less than 0.5 kilometers a second. Everything's still on track for an 8:03 p.m. Central Time docking this evening.
Range rate negative 0.19. Copy. And just a reminder, at a range of 30 meters, please put BPS to initial configuration and breakout enabled. Do not deactivate the operation flag. Do not remove it. Okay. Copy. At within a 30-minute range, I should enable breakout, and the operation should not be deactivated. Copy.
Less than a kilometer currently separating the two vehicles. Progress continuing to close in at a little over 1/10 a meter per second.
Range rate negative 0.18. Copy.
Кресты собраны, мишень выше.
Crosshairs are aligned, and the target is above the crosshairs by approximately 0.5 degrees. Copy all.
Дальность 35.
Range 0.035, range rate negative 0.
If you're just tuning in with us, tonight's operation is to guide in the unpiloted Progress 78 cargo craft that launched from the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan on Tuesday. That launch took place at 6:27 p.m. Central Time, with over 1.8 tons of food, fuel, and supplies on board. Progress has been making its journey to the 7 residents on the orbiting laboratory ever since. Now, 0.31 kilometers separating the two vehicles.
Дальность.
Range 0.030, range rate negative 0.10, BPS, unit to initial configuration.
БПС исход.
BPS signal conversion unit is in the initial configuration, breakout enabled, and the operation flag operation is not deactivated as well. Copy.
Дальность 25.
Range 0.025.
Принято, дальность 20.
Copy 25.
And the docking mechanism on Progress is now powered on. Progress continuing to inch closer to the space station, closing in at about 1/10 a meter per second.
Дальность 17.
Range 17 meters. Target is in the center. Crosshair is aligned. Range rate negative 0.0 and KKT is confirmed as well as the antenna flag.
До входа в тень.
Copy. And you have less than 1 minute remaining prior to eclipse start.
Принял.
Copy.
Дальность 14.
Range 14.
Скорость минус.
Range rate negative 0.12.
Принято.
Copy.
Мишень.
The
Проверить.
target is to the right and above the crosshairs by approximately 0.5 degrees. Crosshairs are aligned. Copy.
Дальность 10.
Range 10 meters. Range rate negative 0.
Everything's still on target for a docking this evening at 8:03 p.m. Central Time, 9:03 p.m. Eastern Time.
To the right and above the crosshairs by 0.5 degrees. Copy all.
Дальность 6.
Range 6 meters. Docking target is in the center and crosshairs aligned. Range rate negative 0.1. Copy.
11 meters now separating Progress from the space station.
Было кратковременное пропадание изображения.
And we had a temporary image loss. Copy.
Принято, дальность 3 метра.
Range is 3 meters. Copy. Docking target is in the center. Crosshair is aligned.
Принято.
Copy.
Так, ожидаем красный.
Standing by for contact.
Standing by for contact and capture.
Есть цепка.
Docking
Принято.
mechanism engaged. Flag confirmed.
Contact confirmed, capture confirmed, all done by the core's automated system. Docking confirmed at 7:59 Central Time, 8:59 Eastern Time.
Выполняем заключительный.
Docking occurring over the southeast Pacific Ocean off the coast of Chile.
Capture and retraction, and then perform the closeout operations. Well, ODF tells us to deactivate.
The Progress is safely docked to the POISC module, wrapping up a 2-day journey from Earth to space.
We don't have.
Once again, that docking occurring at 7:59 Central Time, 8:59 Eastern Time, over the southeast Pacific Ocean off the coast of Chile.
And it's called a total deactivation.
Ждем вашего указания.
Affirmative, and we are standing by for a go.
And we just heard confirmation that the docking probe is in the process of retracting. That will initiate the closing of the hooks that will form a hard mate between the two vehicles. The docking this evening occurring via the Corps' automated docking system, all going smoothly after a launch that began 2 days ago from the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan, blasting off at 6:27 p.m. Central Time, 4:27 a.m. local Baikonur time. And now standing by for a confirmation that the hooks are closed. And we just heard that the hooks are currently driving. We're standing by for confirmation that the hooks are closed. And we just heard confirmation that the hooks are closed. We have a hard mate and a good mate between Progress and the International Space Station.
Station Houston on 2 for recovery steps.
Roger.
Aki, first we want to thank you. We had some great camera views. Appreciate that work. We think that we have potentially identified what our issue is here on the ground, and we're going to do some troubleshooting, but it may take us offline, so we want to give you the next couple things for you to do, and you can continue to press with them even if we do drop offline. So first thing we want to have you do is recover the BGAs. We want you to send those to AutoTrack. So if you still have up the BGA screen that you pulled up in message 570, you can take all 8 BGAs to AutoTrack.
Okay, copy. Send all the BGAs in 570 to auto track.
Good words. And then the second thing we have for you is message 572, and this is going to have you return us to momentum management. You will start execution at 0125.
Okay, message 572, start execution at 0125.
And that's a good read.
Anything else, Tama?
Oleg,
For now, no, nothing else.
go ahead.
Олег, можно выполнить
Oleg,
шаг 4.6 по странице 27?
you can put step 4.6 per page 27 and work. Copy.
And those words that you heard just now from the Capcom Tamara York up to the crew were in regard to some troubleshooting
I
steps
have turned on
for the crew designed to recover ground commanding capability to the International Space Station due to a file server issue at JSC. There were no impacts to Progress docking this evening, and the crew was never in any danger.
I have deactivated manual control pulse mode for translational hand control. I did not turn on, and we are turning off the TV mode. The image is no longer up. Copy.
To recap this evening's operations, the journey of the Progress 78 cargo craft began with the liftoff on Tuesday from the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan off of Launch Pad 31 at 6:27 p.m. Central Time, 4:27 a.m. local Baikonur time. Progress was successfully put into orbit for a 33-orbit rendezvous, and all burns were completed with no issues, and the unpiloted Progress vehicle arrived to the International Space Station and linked up to the Poisk module at 7:59 Central Time, 8:59 Eastern Time off the southeast coast of Chile. With the hooks now closed and a hard mate having been confirmed, leak checks will be conducted over the next couple of hours by Dubrov and Novitsky to ensure there is an airtight seal to open the hatch and begin unloading its cargo. With that, we'll wrap up our coverage for today. Progress 78 safely docked to the International Space Station. Thanks for joining us today. This is Mission Control Houston.